Was decided in Constitutional Petition 204 of 2019, where state officers were barred by Justice Eric Ogola, Mr. Speaker. When you look at the issues, Mr. Speaker, because of limitation of time, on various grounds, like for example, on the grounds for renovation of the office of the Deputy President, the funds were appropriated by the National Assembly. Yet the same National Assembly is accusing the Deputy President, who is not even an accountant. The accountant is a different person, Mr. Speaker. Even on the KEMSA issue, on the bully, in the grounds that they have been set, Mr. Speaker, they are saying that the Deputy President bullied KEMSA, Mr. Speaker, but there is no proof that that tender was awarded to the specified companies that were provided, Mr. Speaker. On even the aspect of devolution, the chairperson of intergovernmental IBEC is the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Mr. Speaker. It is unfortunate that we are coming to circumvent the same law and accuse the Deputy President of undermining devolution, Mr. Speaker. Even on Kambini Vipingo Road, Mr. Speaker, no one adduced the evidence that this road is either public or private, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on the aspect, even on unexplained wealth, Mr. Speaker, you saw the mover did not give us a wealth declaration form from EACC to show us unexplained wealth of Deputy President, 5.2 billion, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, the grounds that have been adduced before the House stands on the quicksand, Mr. Speaker. And if you realize, on the 11 grounds, the mover was on a fishing expedition, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, I don't know, because they say, Mr. Speaker, even when you read, I know impeachment proceedings either political, because it is impeachable, because they are neither high crimes, criminal, but based on the test of probabilities, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, and therefore, even when you look at many other aspects, Mr. Speaker, I want to challenge members, even as we go and vote, Mr. Speaker. If you see, as Francis Mboga, the play that was written in 1976, Mr. Speaker, they say, Mr. Speaker, if the madness of the nation disturbs a solitary mind, Mr. Speaker, it is not enough to say that man is mad, Mr. Speaker. Where we are at crossroads as a country, Mr. Speaker, whatever the outcome today, this country must move on, Mr. Speaker. We must proceed, Mr. Speaker. I know after today, the decision that we'll make today is not about the Deputy President. It's about the justice to the Deputy President, justice to the people of Kenya, justice to each and every Kenyan who voted for the Deputy President, Mr. Speaker. And I want to finish by reading the book of Zechariah, chapter 8, verse 16, Mr. Speaker. I am preaching today, Mr. Speaker. And may it get to the souls, Mr. Speaker. Amen. Zechariah, Mr. Speaker, 8, verse 16. And even Clayton Washington, Mr. Speaker, and Morgan Heritage in Reggae, they say a man is not guilty until it is accused of being. Mr. Speaker, in Zechariah 8, verse 16, these are things that you are to do. Speak truth to each other and render true and sound judgment in courts. Senate, my colleagues, by the time you cast your vote, think about it. It is not about Regade. It is not about anybody else. It's about the Republic of Kenya. Our children, our nation, Mr. Speaker. I finish by saying...
Senator Enoch.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, there is a reason why my colleagues call me Bishop, others call me Pastor. Mr. Speaker, the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 19, from verse 18 to 19. It says that the judges shall inquire diligently, and if the witness is a false witness and has accused his brother falsely, then you, the judges, shall do to him as he had meant to do to his brother. So you shall purge the evil from your midst. Mr. Speaker, I did not know that I would be a senator in Kenya at such a time as this. being called upon to judge between the National Assembly and the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya through a motion brought here by one Honorable Mwengi Mutuse. But Mr. Speaker, here we are, and where duty calls, I will answer the call with courage and guided by a deep desire for that which is good for our nation. Mr. Speaker, I would have expected that the crumbling relationships within the Kenya Kwanza administration would perhaps have been handled within their PG or their NEC and resolved there. But because they have chosen this path, Mr. Speaker, they have made their bed, they must lie on it. Mr. Speaker, the mover of the impeachment motion must have a very dim view of the Senate of the Republic of Kenya. He comes to us with innuendos, falsehoods, sensational statements, and dropping of numbers without a shred of evidence. So, Speaker, he begins his own illustration by saying sometimes in 2023. He goes on, the Speaker, to speak about at another forum in September 2024. Mr. Speaker, we are debating an impeachment motion of the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. The least that these judges would have expected, the least that this country would have expected, is due diligence on the mover of the motion. Getting every event and every date right. In fact, going down to the minute, to the second. This is a serious issue, Mr. Speaker. But, Mr. Speaker, because of time, I will say two things. One, let it be known to this House and to this country that those of us who subscribe to the ideals of the Azimio One Kenya Alliance are totally and grossly opposed to the idea of a government of shareholding. We don't subscribe to that idea. We believe in an all-inclusive government where every person and every region have their space in this country. But, Mr. Speaker, when that matter was presented to us as an accusation, as a ground for impeachment of the Deputy President, during cross-examination and going through the evidence table before the Senate, it is clear to this House, it is clear to this country, that the idea of a government of shareholders is a foundational policy of the Kenya Kwanza administration. The signature for that policy is appended by none other than the party leader of that coalition, the President of the Republic of Kenya, the Speaker of the National Assembly, the Chief Cabinet Secretary, and Mr. Speaker, I would dare say, don't drag the Speaker of the Senate to this because he's not part of this. Mr. Speaker, you cannot punish the Deputy President, the principal assistant to the President, for undertaking the role of being the assistant to the President. He is just expounding on a policy that his boss has signed and made public. Mr. Speaker, oh my goodness. Mr. Speaker, lastly, if you allow me,
Senator Metho.